What's up, guys? It's Ryan and we are here in La Paz, Bolivia for the very first time. I just arrived here this morning after taking a night bus from uni, and now we are here and I couldn't be more happy to be here in Bolivia. We got a lot of exploring to do. Right now we're just walking on one of the side streets. Lots of people are out here. It's a Monday morning / afternoon. A lot of different vendors out here with food, other goods. We're coming out onto the main street now, which is where it gets quite hectic, it looks like. Tons of little pop-up shops here. So I'm staying in the Miraflores area, which is one of the busiest areas here in La Paz. Show you kind of what it's like around here. So like I said, I'm on the main street now where you kind of have to go through if you're driving through the area. And if you look up, you'll see these gondola things in the sky, and that's something that runs all throughout La Paz. There's multiple everywhere. They're called teleféricos, I believe, and they're their way of transportation around the city here, kind of like a metro system. I'll definitely be looking to go on them at some point, not in today's video, but maybe in the next one. Sounds like they're pretty cheap, and you can get like a card, just like a metro card you would get. See, here is where it kind of goes in. It's funny because it reminds me of something I would see on a ski mountain. So another main thing about the city of La Paz, of course it's the capital of Bolivia, but it's the highest elevation capital in the entire world. The elevation is about just over 3,600 meters, which is about 12,000 feet. And you can definitely notice it when you're walking. Most of the city is on a hill, so like right now I'm walking up at a slight incline, and you can just notice the heart rate is increasing. The breathing gets a little bit harder. You're either walking uphill or you're walking downhill. There's not really any flat areas. As far as the weather, as you can see, it's kind of sunny out right now. I mean, I'm in a t-shirt right now, so it's not too cold at all. We are entering like this spring season, I believe, in this part of the world. So it's kind of more enjoyable versus just, you know, months ago they were in the winter. But most people I see, no one's really wearing shorts or anything, or even t-shirts. I'm like the only person wearing a t-shirt. Everyone's wearing pants, sweatshirts, but usually the older women are more wearing the traditional clothing, it looks like. I see these van-like buses everywhere, which are like the main form of transportation here. You'll just see locals getting on and off them. They'll stop, you know, for like 2 seconds. Someone will jump off, someone will jump on, and then they'll keep going. So they're like a smaller metro bus. So that, between that and the teleférico, it's like the two main ways of transportation around here for the public. So of course, Bolivia is a third world country, and it's probably one of the poorest countries, if not the poorest, in South America. So you'll definitely notice that just walking around. There's some homelessness, but honestly, a lot of the people, instead of just begging, they're trying to sell goods, sell their service any way they can make money. And it's cool to see that instead of just people sitting there asking for money. They're actually trying to give you something or give of some kind. The most common thing you'll see though is like older women selling fruits, vegetables, and random goods just sitting on the street. The other super common thing I've been seeing around here is what they call saltinas, I believe, and it's the Bolivian version of the empanada. I'm yet to try it, but I've talked to several people before coming to Bolivia, and they said it's one of the best things they've ever had. So I'm gonna be eating a lot of those while I'm here, and I'll let you guys know how it is. I couldn't be more excited. I love empanadas, and it sounds like these are the best. The Bolivian versions are the best, so we'll just have to wait and see. And going back to Bolivia being one of the poorest countries here in South America, of course that does benefit tourists, especially me. My US dollar goes a lot farther. And funny saying that, so there's the official exchange rate of USD to Boliviano dollars. And with that, one US dollar is about $6.50 Bolivianos. But then there's like a black market rate, which they call the blue bill, which one US dollar is equal to about $12.50 Bolivianos. So really interesting. I haven't really been in a country where it's like that, but you'd be stupid to use your card if you're someone like me, because I'm gonna just get the official rate, versus if I go to a currency exchange place and give them USD cash, I'm gonna get that $12.50 rate. So I'm pretty much getting twice the amount of money, twice the amount of value. So that's one of the first things I did. Luckily, again, I talked to some people who came to Bolivia before I got here, or else I probably wouldn't have known that. And they told me you should really only be using cash while you're here. That's pretty much every other country I've been to, I've just been using my card. And a lot of places will accept card here, but you'd be stupid to use it. So we made it to the plaza area of Miraflores. Again, a lot of people out right now, just hanging out. Looks like they got something going on over here. Not quite sure what this is. The Plaza de Jara Sorzano or something. Going back to the elevation though, I'm definitely feeling the heart rate a little bit elevated. So we're just walking around this plaza area, but we're gonna walk back this way because that's where the football stadium is, or soccer. And here again, you see all the women wearing the traditional clothing, their hats, big dresses. Very unique, very interesting. It's definitely an interesting vibe here. Of course, Spanish is the primary language here, and not too many people speak English. I think that kind of goes back to it being a poor country and they don't have the money and the accessibility to learn English or any other language for that sake. So of course, you know, I get a lot of stares. People people aren't super friendly looking. They don't necessarily smile too much at me. I don't know if they dislike people like me or what. I always try to smile back at them, but especially the guys, the older men, they're a little bit more, I don't know what the deal is. I'll tell you what, as a US citizen, Bolivia is one of the harder countries to get into. I had to get a visa and it was like $160 USD versus all my friends that came here. They're all Europeans, they don't have to pay anything. Now, of course, I can see where they come from because the US makes it so hard for them to enter into our land, so they wanted to kind of pay back the favor, I suppose. But I don't know, something about being in countries like this where a little bit lower income, I do really think they have their benefits, and I actually enjoy more and get more out of it because the people here, they value other things than just money, right? They value their community, their family, their friends, versus in a lot of other countries, probably including the US, people are so money focused, they don't really get the understanding of how important these other things are. So even though these people have a lot less money and overall just things, a lot of times they're happier because they have the most important thing, which is their family, their friends, their community around them. So that's what I love to get and absorb and learn about these countries that I go to that are lower income. They have a different perspective on life. Again, for them, it's like, as long as they have food to feed themselves and their family, and you know, a decent living condition, and then that's really all they need. The other stuff isn't necessarily, as long as they have their community around them. Just overall, love the vibes around here. This is the actual stadium that we're walking around right now. So it's where the Bolivian soccer team plays. It's funny because before coming to Bolivia, I've heard about teams like Brazil or Argentina coming to play here and how they get so mad because they have to play at this high elevation, and it's hard. Like I said, my heartbeat gets faster. It's harder to breathe. So actually being here for myself and feeling it for myself, I can see where they come from. Over here, you can kind of see what surrounds the city, which is the mountains. It's pretty beautiful. So the city itself is kind of in the hills, but the mountain range kind of surrounds itself. I don't know, it's beautiful though. And of course, again, I just got here, so the longer I'm here, over the next couple of days, I'll get more of a feel for the area, how the people are, and hopefully make some friends. We'll see. Again, my Spanish is getting there, but not yet fluent. But I'm excited to just get a full understanding of this place that as a US citizen, you don't really hear much about. All you know is the little things they tell you on the news, the internet, that stuff. But there's always so much more to a country like this, and that's why I love to travel and come to these places that average tourist wouldn't come to, and be fully immersed in the community and learn about them and their culture and how they live on a day-to-day basis. So again, Bolivia is a poorer country, but there is, you know, the richer part of the cities here and then the poorer part of the cities, and it makes sense when you think about it, but the richer people actually live in the lower part, the lower elevation part of the city. And of course, the poorer people live in the higher elevation. We're kind of right in the middle. The Miraflores area is kind of right in the middle, I would say. That's where I stay, and that's where my Airbnb is. And speaking of my Airbnb, it's crazy how cheap it was. I'll show you guys towards the end of this video and let you know how much I paid, but it's mind-blowing. But getting back to the streets here, what you can expect, again, tons of these pop-up shops, A lot of pharmacies you'll see here too. I mean, they're selling really anything they can think of, phone cases, stuffed animals. Of course, tons of banks, ATM areas too, which I'll never use because through that I'll only get the official currency rate. I want that premium currency rate. Tons of, again, these vans everywhere. These places just on the side of the street that are popped up, selling fruits, vegetables are the kind of two main things. Got a barber shop here, more baked goods and random other stuff. SpongeBob, Hot Wheels, more pharmacies. Oh, here we got a meat shop, more baked goods, the saltinas. Besides the fruits and vegetables you'll see local selling, I would say the baked goods, the breads are the other most common thing I've seen so far. These little pop-up places literally sell everything. Soap, deodorant, anything a normal store would sell. They even selling underwear and socks out here. They really don't have a need for like full-on grocery stores when they just have these everywhere. That being said, I still have seen a few grocery stores. They're just not as prominent as you would see in other countries. So looking on Google Maps, this is actually one of the main markets, the Miraflores market. So it's interesting, they got markets like that where it's dedicated to people selling stuff. And then you also just got people selling stuff on the side of the road. It makes sense, I guess, because as a local, if I'm going to get my groceries and stuff, I'll just go to a place like that where I know I'll find it. Versus people on the street, it's kind of like, you know, all of a sudden I'll see someone selling some bananas and apples on the road, or, you know, avocados, and if I need it at that moment, maybe I'll get it. But if I'm going into it knowing what I need, then I'll just go to a place like that. That's how I see it, at least. Man, I just love the vibes of a country like this, though. I got the same feel in Asia and getting it here. I love it. Just the chaos, all of the public transportation going around, the people crossing roads without waiting for stoplights or anything. I feel like I was missing this when I was in countries like Chile, I guess even Brazil and Peru to a certain extent. Again, they aren't as developed as some of those countries like Japan, the US, Korea, but here it's to a next level of, I don't know, vibes. Authenticity. I don't know what it is. Here again, you see those gondolas going over our heads. So crazy that they have that here. This is the first country I think I've seen gondolas just going through the middle of the city. I can't wait to go on them. I'm sure the views up there are amazing. Be on the lookout for a video where I do that. It just makes so much sense. You're on these hills instead of trying to take vans everywhere. They love their horns here, I guess, too. Just take the gondola from one part of town to the other and you're good. It literally goes from like the northern part of the city to the southern part of the city. It just makes so much sense, especially for a city like this where they're kind of on the hills. Because walking from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill, you'll probably have a heart attack by the time you get there. Another busy intersection here. So many of these vans, these public transportation. See, look, they'll just stop in the middle of the road, hold up traffic so someone can get in. They got a lot of taxi services here too. When I came from the bus station to my Airbnb, I just took a Uber because I have heard about, you know, you can run into some problems with fake taxis scamming you and stuff, so don't really want to have to worry about that. The only public transportation I'll probably be taking is these. Man, it's so cool. Here is actually where one of the stops is, and it's pretty close to where I'm staying, so I'm definitely gonna get on it here. But it goes, I mean, all the way up the city there into the hills, and then all the way down, of course, this side of things. I think I read it was like 3 Bolivianos for one trip, but you can get like I said earlier, a card, a Metro card that you can get for like maybe 15 Bolivianos. And you just load that up and, you know, it's a little cheaper per use. So probably just get the card and just go all around the city in that. Just do loops in it, eat my lunch in it, who knows. We're walking back into that main center area we were at towards the beginning of the video though. Again, this is where the gondolas come out of. But a lot of people just come here to hang out, chill. And what makes sense is a lot of the vendors will set up shop here because they know there's gonna be a lot of people around here. I'm sure in the evenings and the weekends, this place gets super busy. We'll have to wait and see if that's true, but I can only assume. They got a trampoline here. That's pretty lit. Man, just soaking in this area, so unique. I don't think any country, any city compares to what it's like being in a city like this. I'll tell you what, for sure, over the next couple weeks while I'm here, we're gonna be getting fully immersed into this culture, and I cannot be more excited. One of the countries I'm been the most excited for. At first, I wasn't totally sure if I was gonna be able to come here, if it worked out, but I'm so glad I do. And now that I'm here, gotta make the most of it. So be on the lookout for a lot of videos coming up here shortly. With that being said, though, I think we'll wrap up this video here. My first introduction feels for La Paz, for the country of Bolivia. Again, I can't wait. So much to explore, so much to see, so much to do. Couldn't be more happy to do it. So blessed, fortunate to be able to do this. Before we end the video though, I do want to show you where I'm staying and how much I'm paying. Like I said at the beginning, I am staying in more of the central area of Miraflores, just so it's convenient to get around. Don't have to worry about getting taxis or Ubers everywhere. I can just take things like that gondola, which is literally like a 5-minute walk from where I'm staying. I mean, this is pretty much the neighborhood I'm staying in. It's all local people. I'm yet to see a single foreigner here. I know there are some. It's not the most popular place to come as a tourist in South America, that's for sure. But in La Paz, there is still some. The area I'm in, definitely not. And that's exactly what I want, exactly what I like, is to be immersed in the real life of the Bolivian people in La Paz, not just the touristy areas, where I can see what day-to-day life looks like, whether they're buying goods from a market or they're walking to their job, their work. Tons of glasses stores, gafas. I think this is like a university down there. I see tons of people always walking from that area. Again, more pharmacies. And my place is right up here. Across the street, I got a little market I can get goods from. And here we are. Try not to dox myself so people don't show up at my door. Not that they would. But walking in here, this is what I first saw when I came in here. So a metal door. You gotta take stairs to the next door, which I have 3 different keys. So it's quite a process to get in here. No one's breaking in, that's for sure. Once you get in here, now you made it to level 3, which is where the next door is. And my place is here on the right. I believe this is just like another apartment over here. And you come in here, and we have made it to mi casa for the next 2 weeks. So I got this place for 2 weeks. Again, I wanted a place. I've been all over the place the last couple weeks, so I wanted a place where I could settle down, work a little bit, get into a little routine, and where I can stay while I'm exploring this massive capital city of La Paz. So at the front door, taking a sharp right, we got my bedroom. We got a little closet area. Check out the views from my room. Nice. And then coming out of that room, right here, we got the bathroom. Pretty big bathroom. Got a washing machine, which is nice. And then coming in under here is where the living room is. Everything's set up. So this is the heater. So actually a lot of places here in La Paz don't have heating. Like it's not just installed in houses. A lot of these houses, including this one, is an older house. And in the winter, from what I was told, it gets very cold. So not having a heater kind of sucks, let's just say. And a lot of places I was looking at, they don't have heating. And not that I necessarily need it that bad, like it's not on right now. And maybe it's on 50% of the time that I've been here so far, which again, I haven't been here very long. So I'll keep you updated with how much I have to use it. But I did want to stay in a place that did have some heating, just in case I didn't want to have to worry about being freezing cold. Because I've been there before when we were in Cusco, Peru. It was terrible, it was freezing, could barely sleep at night. But yeah, I got a little living room area, plenty of space. And then lastly over here is where we got the kitchen area, where we got our stove, little dining table. And by little, I mean little, with some more views. Some great views they are. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's honestly a pretty nice place. It's a little bit older, so some of the stuff they have here, you can tell it's older, but it's great, everything I need, and plenty of space. I'm used to staying in like studio areas for Airbnbs, which are great. Like they have everything I need, but be able to get this much space, especially for the price I paid, is quite nice. So going back to that, how much did I pay? So I got it through Airbnb. So I did have to use my card, which that means I get the official rate. I paid about just over $200 for 2 weeks. So it came out to roughly about $15 a night, which is insane. The only other place I can recall paying that little per night is Cambodia. And I was staying in a little hotel room and it was like $12 a night. It didn't have a bathroom with a laundry room, a whole bedroom, a whole living room, let alone a kitchen. So all of this for $15 a night and good Wi-Fi, I might add, or at least as good as you're gonna get in Bolivia. Pretty good deal, so I'm happy with it. Again, I'm gonna be here for the next 2 weeks. Who knows where I'll go from there. I mean, if I don't know, you guys definitely won't know. So I'll keep you updated when I do decide where I'm gonna go. But for now, we're focused on enjoying La Paz, exploring this area. And again, I know I've said this a lot of times, I cannot wait to explore this area. It's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this introduction to La Paz, Bolivia, getting a feel for it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Plenty of videos coming here soon, so be on the lookout for those. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.